Are we?
You know I don't ever know.
I don't know anymore either.
I don't trust our internet connection, our YouTube connection, our streaming connection. I don't trust our microphones. I don't trust our camera.
Wow. Talk about some serious trust issues there.
It's kind of what I'm known for. It's kind of my thing.
Oh. There we are.
Okay, you got to see us. We now have 3 separate versions of us playing on screens in front of us at the same time. I am...
And all different time intervals, too.
The delays are messing with my mind. It's a little early in the stream to go ahead and lose all monetization, so I won't say the word I was thinking of. But we will proceed because I have confirmation from Bay Seats. Thank you that we are here. Hello.
Hi.
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. This is our weekly live stream where we record our podcast, the audio version of which hits all major podcast apps every Friday. We are here 7 minutes early. If you are here for the live stream and you don't like idle chit chat, you got a few minutes. If you're here after the live stream, but before I put in timestamps and you don't like idle chit chat, fast forward by about 7 minutes. I did the thing. I said it. I didn't stumble too terribly.
No, you didn't.
I know. I'm very proud of me. I'm going to say hi to folks.
Okay, say hi to folks.
Hi, Kitty. Hi, Panda. Hi, Julie. Hi, Bay Seats. Hi, Rara. Hi, Candace. I don't know. I mean, I'm nothing if not awkward. Ooh, did you bump the air? I feel a little cold air on my thigh. It's delightful.
I did.
I mean, there's sweat on my face, but there's cold air on my thigh. And, you know, we take what we can get.
No, I get it. I get it.
Well, right above our head is the line of demarcation.
Yeah.
Between the part of the office that can get cooled off and the part of the office that cannot.
Doesn't.
And I'm sitting on the side that can.
Yeah.
You're sitting on the side that cannot.
Doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't even bother with keeping my hair down. I was like, let's start with the ponytail.
Yeah,
We're not gonna mess with it.
No, I did bump the air because once we close the doors and turn on the lights and all that fun stuff, it warms up in here a little bit.
Yeah, on top of the awful heat wave that many of us have been going through, regardless of what part of the planet. No, yeah, planet right? That you're on. Yeah.
Even,
almost said continent. I went
even way north of us in Canada, they're having some really extreme temperatures.
Yep, and the UK, Ireland, Scotland. I think some parts of that area either have been in a heat wave or just finished a heat wave as well. My Instagram algorithm's all kind of wonky, so hi Kim. But yeah, it's just hot as shit.
Yeah, no, this heat's been beating the hell out of me.
Yeah, you're out working in it.
Yesterday, I was in the tiny shop. Now, understand, from early morning till around noontime right now, tiny shop is in the shade. Okay, and I'm usually out there between 7:30, 8 o'clock. Yesterday morning, I went out, opened up all the doors, opened all the windows in the tiny shop, and I turned on my fan. I sat down at the scroll saw. 5 minutes later, I was dripping sweat.
Yeah, there's not a day you come in that you're not dripping sweat.
Yeah.
I opened the back door for Lola at about midday, and all I did was open the door and close it real quick, and I know about Florida heat, and I have been out in some of this. That was a wall that blasted me. I was like, whoo, I don't know how she's handling this.
We had, just before we were getting ready to go to bed last night, we got rain. And I was very excited about the rain because rain usually, especially at night, cools things off.
Not this rain.
Yeah, no, I went running to the back door and out into the backyard, and it was just like a wall of air.
Wet air.
Yep.
Hi, Mr. Spock. Hi, Silent. Yep. Yeah. I've been spending a lot of time in a cold, dark room.
Yeah.
I finished up enough stuff today. I was very proud of me. And Wednesdays, now that we stream in the evening, I don't feel like I need to work from like an 8 to 5 because we're going to be streaming in the evening. So I tend to take like the afternoon kind of easy. I took it so easy. I went and took a 2-hour nap. Now, at some point in the nap, I woke up in a hot flash. That was delightful. But yeah. Hi, Daishu.
Yeah. So, yeah, heat.
Just kind of walk around with a constant sheen of sweat on you.
Yeah.
The oldest is here because that's why we didn't stream last week. We were moving him out of his apartment, and he keeps his AC set to a much different temperature than we do.
Yeah.
And so he is, he's pretty miserable because he's not used. I mean, we're not used to the heat, but we're used to the temperatures we try to keep our house at. Yeah.
Silent, you saw through my plan.
What's that?
Wearing,
Oh, your Trans-Siberian Orchestra shirt.
hoping to channel some cooler weather.
I mean, is there a my brain came up with procedure, but that's not the word I want. Is
Process?
Is there a ritual that we can do
yeah.
to invite colder temperatures? If there is, somebody let me know. I'm not above doing those kinds of things. Anything else for the butt? Oh, Lola is snoring.
Yes.
Like she just worked a double.
Mm-hmm,
But that's better than when she parked herself under the tripod before we started. So we'll take it. But yeah, we're also not sure what our internet will do during the stream because we do have an extra person here who is using extra internet connection.
Yeah.
Actually, he's been watching a lot of TV on the big TV in the living room. He has his TV. He could hook it up. Maybe he has, but he's been watching in the living room.
He doesn't normally get to watch.
Yeah, no.
Sitting in an
actual
soft chair on a big
situation.
TV.
Right, yeah. And he does not necessarily have access to all the same apps that we have because all those stupid rules where you can't log in and from two different places, blah, blah, blah. So he's taken advantage of that. But I think he's about to watch a Marvel movie that we have not watched. And I'm like, how do I avert all of my attention? I don't want spoilers.
I'm a little jelly about that.
Well, there's that too. Silent, we do have the fancy business internet. We don't trust it. We don't trust it. We don't trust any internet connection.
This internet that we have now
Andre.
has been much better than what we had prior.
Oh, absolutely. It's great.
Much less problems than
It's
what
just
we had.
been a hot minute since we had everybody on it. So our trust issues.
Yeah.
They are what
But
they are.
I shut down
Hi,
my
X.
computers. I put my phone on
My phone's on airplane.
And,
Because I can still read a book even when my phone's on airplane. So, it's 7 o'clock. Okay, we're going to get started.
Hello, everyone.
There we go.
Make it official.
I didn't have a good way to title this week's episode, so that's the title, but it is a ripped from the pages of our life kind of thing, where we had not a stressful moment, but we had a moment over the weekend, and then we had some deep conversations, and then some realizations were made, and I believe JB is, the corner of his brain devoted to Dom things is still mulling. I don't know. Maybe we'll get breaking news in this episode. I have no idea. But the way I felt like I could concisely put it all together is we're still working on getting back to our DS selves, but it's uneven between the two of us, and it's non-linear. It is just a squiggly line, hopefully going in the correct direction.
Wibbly wobbly.
Something like that. So that's what we're talking about this week. If you enjoy this, we love a thumbs up. If you like it enough to want to come back for more, please consider subscribing.
And once you do that, go ahead and ring that notification bell to get updates and new content.
Just do what Daddy says. Life is infinitely easier. When he will tell you what to do, just do what he says. We'll get into that. That might be a little bit from today's episode, a little sneak peek. If you enjoy this, especially the community aspect with like the live chat and everything, you can join us on Patreon, where you get access to our Discord server, plus extra content. We're currently doing a monthly behind the scenes podcast episode strictly and solely about the stuff we're doing and trying and experiencing within our relationship. What are words? Okay, so if you join our Patreon, it's patreon.com/Kayla Lords. Link is down below. You can join for as little as $2 a month and you get access to that. If you pick a higher tier, you get other stuff. But if you're like, I just want some Discord and I just want to hear that podcast, $2 a month is good, and it helps us continue to have an internet connection and be weirdos with microphones. So yeah, feel free to do that if that is your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can hit button.
Okay, I'm going to hit the button and I'm going to turn the fan on too.
Yes, please. It is very warm. Okay. I don't really have any announcements, like special announcements. I meant to add something new to our Etsy shop and just haven't yet. We're back to doing restocks at the Kinkery, thekinkery.com. So there are things there. There are some like really cool new wooden knives that JB introduced recently. And I've got plenty of wax play candles, so if wax play is like your jam, we got you. But everything else is basically in a restock right now. It's a good problem to have, but I do think the day JB finally retires, it won't be because he wants to no longer work at all. It'll be so he can get away from the concept of restocking anything. Pretty sure it haunts his
you know
sleep.
what? I with a lot of stuff I've been doing, I am getting very close to being able to put AAC in the tiny shop.
That is true. That is true. Yeah.
Just need a few more things to
line.
tweak in there and fall in line and be able to get an AC. So then I can work in there and not melt.
I don't remember anymore. Do those window rattlers, do they also have a heating component where you can switch it and it'll blow warm air?
I don't care about the cold.
You say that now while you're hot. I know how you are in the cold.
Well.
Anyway. Thekinkery.com.
I can put on more clothes. I can only take off so much.
Right, but the conversations we have when you're super cold are not unlike the conversations we have when you're really hot. Is all I'm saying in the most diplomatic, submissive way fucking possible. Which does, in its own way, lead us into this week's topic. I used to feel very weird about planning these kinds of topics, even though I was like, yay, content ideas that are easy. Because I'm like, who the hell wants to listen to like the ins and outs of our specific relationship that may have no bearing on your kink life? And then I had plenty of people go, no, we're all nosy bitches around here. Please do those episodes. But the thing I want to say that I hope at least some of you can take away from this is while the specific details might not pertain to you, you might not be the kind of submissive that I am, you might not be the kind of dom that JB is, you might not be at a similar stage of a power exchange, whatever. It's just a reminder, because I needed it, so I'm assuming others need it, that kind of where we're at with one another in the conversation we had over the weekend, which is just one of a few, and there's still more to come, is very normal. I don't care how long you've been together. Some of this stuff, still crops up. So, so that's like the thing. If you either you get to be a nosy bitch today, or maybe it helps you now or in the future. But this is absolutely like just a slice of our life that we are literally still working through as we speak. Because who wants to wait until there's a resolution to talk about something? So I'm not quite sure where to begin with this, because it looked like it started with an argument that was not an argument at all. Like we were both annoyed with one another. But that, for me, wasn't really where it started. But for you, was that where this particular moment started for you?
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I think some of it for me had been kind of simmering.
Sure.
Under the surface for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So I'll take you on my journey and you interject when stars align and all that good stuff. So for the past several weeks, I've had a lot on my mind. I pretty much always do. There's always tabs open in my brain. And some of them had been kind of going down a not exactly positive thing. I've had moments where I'm thinking, is this depression? Like I don't know. I'm not a professional to diagnose that. Is this perimenopause? It's always perimenopause because I'm in it, but how much of it is the impact of perimenopause and how much of it is something else? Is it low dopamine and executive dysfunction, which can be perimenopause, and it can be neurodivergency? I mean, it's sort of I don't know, pick your fucking player. I don't have a clue what is causing a lot of the downturn of my mood and the lack of motivation and some weepiness and just some like apathy and ennui all at the same time. And I don't like feeling like that. But experience tells me that, that is usually a time I'll start dwelling on things that are not great in other aspects of life. Now, for the past several years, it's been very financial, health, kids, blah, blah, blah. And, like with kids and health stuff, that's still kind of there. We've entered new and interesting levels. we haven't beat the baddie on this level yet, but it's fine. So in all of that introspection, because what else was I going to do when I had no energy to do anything else, I started thinking a lot about not our power exchange specifically, but myself as a submissive, like the things that I need. And I think part of that is when I'm in those kinds of headspaces, my brain does start like reaching out for what could help, what could make me feel better, I'm past the point of thinking, oh, if I do these 3 simple steps, it'll fix everything. Like, I don't go there anymore, but I start trying to look around at my life, like, is there something external that's making me feel this way, and what can I adjust? What can I do to help myself? And one of the things I kept coming back to was not wanting to think at all, quite frankly. That very stereotypical thing that I know other submissives will probably relate to some degree, of just turning off your fucking brain and letting somebody else just take the fucking wheel. I don't care if it's Jesus or JB, but somebody take the goddamn wheel. And we've talked about it over the past several months. Like, I like to follow like a little duckling, and those are in the happy, fun moments where I'm like, oh, look, I'm getting this opportunity. But this was kind of bigger than that. This was, I need, not all the time. I'm not wired that way, and our life does not work that way for an all the time shutting my brain off. But like, I need specific moments in time where I don't have to think about what the consequences might be, come up with 85 possible solutions, and think about the fallout from those things so that we have some backup plans. Because that's how my brain works. Is that what you're supposed to do? Probably not. But that's how my brain works, because I do know I have anxiety. So, yay! And, it's just sort of this mental exhaustion. And I'm like, I kind of know what I would like to, again, not fix it, not, make it go away, but like a relief of sorts. And the moment I let myself start thinking about that, because it's been a very long time since Kayla just shut her brain off or anything, I was thinking about how I missed it and how much, that the idea of it, which is never the same thing as the actual experience of it, sounds great. And so then once my brain went down that path, I was like, oh, well, what else am I missing? And the other part, the thing is one that you and I have talked about a lot, is that I don't get to be in my baby girl headspace very often. No. I mean, unless it's the pouting, crying, whining side, the expressing displeasure in a safe space with a person who lets me be myself in whatever form that's going to come out in. Because when I'm upset like that and it's in private and it's just me and JB, I'm not dropping F-bombs. I'm not yelling. I'm not cussing. That's what I do when other people can see me. And I'm upset. And it's very much a whiny kind of thing. And I was like, I would like the more positive side of that. I'd like to just have these moments where, and it wasn't that, air quote, I want to be a baby girl. It was, I want my dom to be a daddy. Like, I want the daddy to come back into the daddy-dom situation, right? Not just a title, not just a label. So, all of that's in my head and has been, like, simmering and bubbling and, like, right? And
I was simmering in a different way.
Right. And I want to get to that. But let me say this, and then please let us get to that.
Yep.
So, here's what made me finally have to say it all out loud where he could hear me and not just in my head where it's just me, myself, and I. We're driving down the road and we're doing the dreaded, what are we going to eat this week so we know what groceries to buy game. I hate it.
We both hate it.
Oh my God. I just, if I could ever be financially comfortable enough to not have to think about that again, I will take it. So we're going back and forth on like dinner ideas because now we're feeding for an extra person because the kid's home for a couple weeks, blah, blah. And JB throws out a suggestion, and I do what I do. I think of all of the outcomes so that JB can make the most informed decision. Is this what he really wants to do? Well, then he gets annoyed because it does not sound like somebody's being a good submissive and going, yes, Daddy. It's somebody going, here, let me tell you why you're wrong. And so he got impatient and said, fine, whatever. And it is never fine when they say fine, whatever, in case you wondered. And then my feelings got hurt. It's real, that part of my baby girl self is very close to the front. Hurt feelings. Oh my God. I was like, so, and so then we did not talk to one another for like, I mean, in a loving way. Like, we existed because we went to the grocery store together, but we didn't like talk and make nice with one another for 6 hours. It was
probably.
So that's the catalyst for how we got to the part where I shared what was on my mind. Now, while I've been simmering, you've been simmering.
Well, yeah, she had all that simmering going on, and I had been in my own way, in my own head. You know, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about it, but y'all remember last year.
In the previous years.
And the previous years. But last year was the worst for me. I hit bottom. And, you know, it was a bad space for me. You know, let's come into this summer when all this took place. And now I feel like I'm walking on eggshells because I'm waiting for the bottom to drop out.
Right, because you're thinking about last summer and doing the comparison to this summer, and it's an immediate bad tape because it's just a year ago.
Yep, it's too fresh. Yep. So that had kind of been sitting in there and rolling around and didn't help make my mood any more joyous.
No, it doesn't help with your patience, I've learned.
No, or that.
We were just talking about that today.
Yeah.
He was joking about not being patient, and I went, who are you?
Right.
Because
that's
where I learned that dreaded P word to begin with.
I have always been a very patient person, and recently I have been embarking on playing with something on the scroll saw. And the first few times I did this particular thing, it turned out pretty rough.
It was not fit for public consumption.
It went to the burn pile. But anyway, after getting some different blades that I needed to do this particular thing, found out using the wrong blades, which didn't help. But I had to slow way down. Slow cuts.
If that's not a metaphor for life, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
Have the knowledge, have the right tools, and slow the fuck down. God damn it.
Yeah. So, you know, but it's been hard for me to focus.
Yeah, I've noticed that for sure.
On that, you know, I have been struggling to focus. And, you know, it all came to head over the grocery list.
Over the dinner that we literally ate just tonight before we started recording and streaming.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I am nothing if not going to try and make sure JB gets what he wants. And that was, you know, when we ended up finally talking, it was multiple conversations. The first one was, I still love you. I still love you. Right. Do we like each other? Yes, we do. Right. Okay, yeah. Here's a little bit of where my head's at. And then the next day, I kind of spiraled and ended up like weepy in bed, embarrassed because it was like, I have all this stuff in my head. I don't trust myself to like be consistent. And I know I need to tell you, and this is what I said, but what if you don't want what I want? And we have been, knock on wood, we've been very fortunate over the course of our relationship where we're not always at the same level with each other, but we tend to be on the same path, going in the same direction, seeking the same things. And I'm not completely unaware and self-involved. I know JB can't focus. I know he's stressed. How do I know he's stressed? Not just because he tells me, but because there's a tone in his voice when he's stressed, and I talk to him more than any other human on the planet. So guess who gets to hear it? I know what it sounds like. And I do what I would do for anybody that I care about, but in a power exchange, it just has more meaning. I am, as being the submissive I am, the type of submissive I am, and also the people pleaser and all the stuff I should go to therapy for. The thing I desperately don't want is for JB to be unhappy. And if I can help make that not a thing, then I'm going to do that. So I'm hyper aware of this man's mood, right? So and he's been open about it. We've talked about it. You've not hidden that from me.
Right.
He didn't need to, but still, it was good to have the conversation. So that's why in my head, I'm like, I might say the thing I need to say just to get it out of my head. But, for the first time in all these years, I'm faced with, what if he doesn't want what I am asking for? Whew. Now, I get to come at that from knowing we have this foundation of love and trust and compromise. And even if he's unable to give me everything I'm asking for, and I'm really not asking for that much, I don't think. But, if he's not quite there yet, I know we'll find the compromise. We'll ease into it. Like, I know all of that. So, I have a lot more, not that I didn't have empathy for people who find it very difficult they're uncertain when they're talking to their partner about their kinky needs, but I have a new level of empathy because for the first time I'm sitting there going, this is the time he could reject this. Kindly, with love. Still rejection. And that for me was sort of the moment when I realized, wow, look how far we've come and look how far we still have left to go. And it was this is so naive of me to have this realization, but it's just because we've been lucky so far. It was the first time I had to face the reality that a lot of people go through of, we're not at the same place on this. For different reasons, and it could shift. We could come out of this summer and the heat could break and the bank account won't, and you could be on the upswing and the focus come back and some of the stress will diminish. And then for all I know, that'll be when I'm the most stressed. And I'm like, I don't have time for the thing you're trying to give me, JB. And, and we're mismatched a little bit more.
The only good thing with this for me a little bit is, for whatever reason, the creativity has been flowing.
Yes. I think, to me, I think that's a good sign for you because last year there was the stress, there was anger, there was fear, there was depression, there was, and all of those are separate things, but also the lumped together. And you were struggling to do the things you always do and have the creativity flowing. So like seeing all that and seeing how you get inspired and you're excited to go, except when it's really hot, excited to go into the shop and make the things and do the things and like do this thing you're passionate about. That lets me know that this year is not last year.
Right. Yeah.
But it takes a while it could take, for some people, it could take literal fucking years to stop kind of being mentally or emotionally stuck in a moment that was really bad because they're sort of on edge waiting for it to happen again. As somebody who has been stuck there too, like I completely get it, which was another reason I was very hesitant to say anything. It's like, am I asking for too much? Not that I am too much. I don't think that way anymore, and I don't want anybody else out there. Look, if they think you're too much, tell them to go find less, okay? I know I'm not asking for too much because I am too much, but is this too much for JB to handle? And if I'm having that moment, then why bother asking? Because the last thing I want to do is put pressure on him, which from in a loving, healthy relationship, those are not bad thoughts to have. Now add the layer of submission where I just desperately want my Dom to have everything he wants, and you can see how easy it is for you to push down your own needs and not talk about them because you don't want to, I don't want to inconvenience him, I don't want to stress him out, I don't want to ask him, I don't want him to try to do something he's not ready to do just to make me happy. And maybe not everybody has 85 thoughts happening at the same time that revolve like that, but some of y'all do. I know I'm not alone. And that's all of that is just swimming in my head on top of this thing with a kid and this thing with that and this thing. You know what I mean? It's like, we ended up having a spat, a tiff. It was not a full-blown argument. It was not. It was about ground beef. It was about ground beef. If you're ever like, what's the dumbest argument I could get into with somebody I genuinely love? Ground beef is up there. It just is. And the noodles. And the noodles. And I think...
Can't leave out the noodles.
If we had been speaking to one another when I finally just made the grocery list on my own so JB did not have to think about it, because clearly that was stressing him out, we might have bought more noodles for tonight's dinner.
Plenty of beef, but not no noodles.
That's fine.
It worked out fine. It did. It really did. And you see, we can laugh about it now.
Right. So, and for the record, if anybody is confused, JB is giving his full permission and support to talk about this when it's like 3 days old. So, for anybody wondering, if I didn't have to twist his arm, guilt him, or bat my fucking eyelashes. We're going to get into this, okay? Because that's all the setup. That's all the background. That's all the what's happening that we're not talking about. So then we start talking.
Yep.
This is where I know for many of you, you might not relate because, we're not the same type of submissive. You're not the same type of dom, whatever. But here we go. Rip from the pages. The first... I don't know what order I said anything in anymore. I don't know. That's no. But the first thing that I think of right now that I was like very important that I needed JB to understand about all of this, about I want more from our current power exchange. I want to get back to more of the things that we've had. I think I said it 8 times because you know me, I'm going to repeat myself. So there's no question if you know what I mean, and I'm right. There's no miscommunication. It's like, look, I'll do service all day long. This is not that I want to do less service. This is not that I'm not happy as a service submissive. I'm very happy as a service submissive in the way that we do it, where there's not a lot of, assigned tasks as needed. It's more of here are the things I need you to do, and I know my role, and I know what JB will allow and what he won't, and where I need to stop and go ask, and where I can just do and inform, and it is done as a service because I want his life to be easy and peaceful. I'm not going to be his peace, but I would like the rest of his life to be peaceful. And so I look at that from the lens of acts of service, right? And I said, look, I don't want any of that to change. I'm not asking for less of that. I'm not asking for more of it, but I'm not asking for less. I said, but here's the thing with that kind of service. There is a lot of mental and emotional load that goes with it. There is some, and we talked about it a few weeks ago, I think, there is some decision fatigue because I am empowered to make certain decisions because we've got the longevity of our relationship and we know what the other would do and what the other would want. That's not 6 months to a year in a relationship kind of thing. That is years of being together and just knowing how things work in your life and your relationship. I was like, that takes its toll. And I don't necessarily want less. I wanted to be so clear that I was not blaming JB for how I felt, that I was not unhappy with that part of my life. I'm just tired. Yeah. And I pointed out to him, I was like, look, the dynamic we've had for the past several years through all of the chaos we went through was like, you were very clear and very honest. You could not be the same kind of dom. You did not have it in you. So, as we've said many times in past episodes, we put it on autopilot. Well, autopilot as a service sub still means a lot of fucking shit to do, right? Like, if I had needed to do less, we could have negotiated that, of course. But I like my routines, and I like doing what I did yesterday and will do tomorrow, because then I don't have to wonder what happened. Like, I just know, and I just go and I do. I was like, but here's the thing. I took on service, that some of it I still have. Like financial service, that's a whole other conversation that we tend to have many times about how the financial stuff goes. Yeah. I said, but, while you took that step back that you needed, I was like, I didn't shut it off. I said the thing I shut off was being able to turn my brain off and being able to be taken care of. That was always my thing when I was learning about submission and myself as a submissive, and I figured out, like, baby girl is the word for me. Little doesn't feel right to me. Not that there's anything wrong with the word, it's just not right for me. Like, brat's not right for me. It's not. I'll fight you, it's not. Anyway. And the hardest part of accepting myself as a submissive was the baby girl side, because the baby girl side wants to be taken care of, wants somebody to make some decisions for her, wants to be told, no, you can't do this, yes, you need to do that, let me do that for you, you know, like, you just sit there and be a sweet little baby girl, okay, a spicy little baby girl, and I'll do for you, right? Not on big levels, but like these small things, right? And JB didn't have it in him for a long time. We would take moments where I felt my baby girl self and he felt his daddy self, but that wasn't something we could do on any sort of regular basis.
No. And for me, you know, yeah, I fully admit it. You know, on my journey back, you know, we have slowly brought back our power exchange.
Very much the service sub,
the
dom,
yeah,
like the dom sub, not the little bit of outliers that we kind of do, not the nuances of our power exchange.
And God, I lost my thought.
I hate it when that happens.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll keep talking and then it'll come back
go ahead.
to you.
It'll come back.
I'm glad I'm not the only one with Swiss cheese brain, but
no, okay.
Go ahead.
You know, and my sadist side, I have, you know.
Oh, you've embraced the fuck out of that, for sure. I wonder on that, is that sort of a stress relief for you? As much as anything else, as much as it's pleasure, as much as it's
to a certain extent it is, yes.
Is it stress relief? No.
Yes.
I mean, it helps that you, I guess, have a screamer and you like screams. So to the extent that I can, I do. Right. So we're having this conversation, and I'm trying to reiterate, I'm not upset at being a service sub. I'm not mad at the service I've done over the past several years. I'm not mad at the service I do now, but it's not enough. I am tired. Like, I am just exhausted, and I need more than the occasional crossing a parking lot and just hold his damn hand, brain shut off. I need something more than, oh, we tried this thing for this day out or this weekend or this, like, I need something that's sort of, there's an expression, but I can't think of it. But basically, it's sort of intertwined with the fabric of our relationship, like services. Service is easy. Services, I'll do for you. I'll take care of this. I have said this before, and I will continue to believe this about myself. It's also because I got control issues. And I understand the irony of being a submissive with control issues, but I know I'm not the only one. That's why it's so hard to give up control. But being a service sub, the way JB likes for me to be, I get a lot of control. I just have to think about what would JB do? WJBD. That'll be a new bracelet, I guess. And what has he allowed before? And then I've had to learn to stop myself when I don't know for a fact. So that's kind of where, like, I'm just like crying into my hands and hiding my face. It was very much in my baby girl space, because what I did not want to see was just kind of an expression that JB can get when he empathizes and he wishes he could give you what you want, but he cannot. And I was like, I don't want to see that face. I don't want to see that reality before he even gets to talk to me. Now, here's the thing that kind of fucks with me, because it just shows that nothing is linear, and you know, you can be riding a high one moment and then be crying in your pillow the next. And why is it like that? It was Sunday morning.
Yeah.
That in our Patreon podcast I referred to as the Great Dickening. Because if you need a reason to join our Patreon, I did call that the Great Dickening. Where we had some of the best kinky rough sex twice. Like, we had to, like, We are not as young as we once were. We are not as spry as we once were. Twice in 2 hours? Are you kidding me? And it was delicious. It was delightful.
It was.
Man, I was feeling so good after that. I was like, you can't tell me nothing, because I've been smacked. I've had my hair pulled. I pulled it back. I didn't even wash my hair after that. I pulled it back in a ponytail and just like, we're just gonna like swim in this. It was delightful. It was fucking delightful. And then several hours later, I was crying because I need more. Not more in the JB's not enough. More in the I have different wants and needs and they're not being fulfilled. Now, I know JB is still mulling, and I'm not asking him to share trade secrets on a fucking podcast. But can you share your thoughts? Not necessarily your plans, unless you want to. I'm down for that. But what are you thinking about, and what are you, like, where were you in during that conversation? Where was your mind going, and where is it at now? And whatever, all that.
My mind's all over the fucking place.
I know. Same, girl. Same.
Yeah. You know, I think to a certain extent, deep down, I knew, because even myself, I knew Daddy hasn't been out
and
in
I
a long
missed it.
time.
I don't miss the daddy that says no. That's not my favorite daddy. But the daddy who buys Diet Cokes and like turns on the TV and says, we're watching this, and the daddy who does that, I miss that daddy. I don't miss the daddy that says no. Just he can keep on having his vacation. Just so you know, in case you wondered.
So, you know, in bringing that up, it wasn't off the mark at all, you know. And, yeah, I've been noodling it. I've been thinking.
Plotting.
Yeah.
I'm good with plotting.
Okay. So, you know, yeah, I do not have any definite, but the plan is coming together.
And I think I would find it very strange, just the nature of our relationship, if, like, one day we're just the way we've been for however long, and then you said, okay, tomorrow a switch flips and everything changes. It might, but I feel like it would make more sense for who we are if it just sort of starts showing up in these little ways, you know. Part of it sitting right here is I don't want anything to stress JB out. So if it is better for him to just do little things as he goes and not plan something big, then I'm not asking for. I'll minimize myself way too fast. That is not healthy and good. I'm not proud of it. Now, JB said something to me. So part of the conversation, part of the blow up over ground beef and fucking noodles. God damn, I'm embarrassed about that now. Is JB did the thing that I like, it was like nails on a chalkboard to me. He goes, but what do you want? And I'm like, no, that's not what we do here. I didn't say that part, but I did kind of say that
and
part.
And see, let me explain something. I know, you know, weeks ago, I went to you because I knew something was off.
Oh, yeah, I've been off for a hot minute.
You know, and, you know, you were kind of like, I think I need to sit down and write an email.
Yes, because I needed to organize my thoughts.
Okay. And, you know, I didn't say anything. I wasn't pushing her. You know, I was looking for an email.
Waiting for it with bated breath. Because I prefaced it with, I think I need to write this out. I don't think I can say it. And I'll be clearer and more organized. So this is not an argument email. This would be here I just need you to know what's in my head email. No.
So, you know, when the way that actually came about was because in my thinking, I was like, I'm going through my head thinking of everything she has been doing. Everything that she's been doing. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh shit, her wells run dry. What does she, you know, what can she do? You know, that's why I think, what would you like? What, you know, and that's where I was coming from with that. And you're like, nope.
I know, and that the reason I brought it up. Yeah, I was pretty clear. There was clear communication there. The reason I brought it up is when we were having our conversation, JB said the literal sweetest thing, because I think it's very easy for either side of the slash to go through this. I can only speak as a submissive. But you sometimes worry that the things you're doing are not seen. They're appreciated maybe, but like nobody kind of gets what goes into that, right? And again, that is either side of the fucking slash. If you were taking care of somebody in whatever way, I think we all at some level just want to be recognized for that. Don't throw me a fucking ticker tape parade. I don't need I'll take a gold star, but that's just because I'm a gold star slut. But he said to me, he said, do you know why I ask you, what do you want? He was like, because you do so much for everybody in this family. I want you to have what you want. And I said, what I want is for you to tell me what to do.
And see, that's where I was reading the room wrong, because I'm not a psychic.
Well, and you know what? Here's what's funny. That to me is how far down the we're not at our best DS selves hole we had dropped, because a few years ago, he would have, I think you would have intuitively understood that what I wanted was to be told what to do. You would have approached it differently. Yeah. You would have checked in and made sure that, no, you were reading this right. But the first thing you thought of would not be, let me give her everything my sweet little baby girl wants. So it would have been like, how can I tease the shit out of her and make her smile? Like, that's sort of the distance we are from where we used to be to where we are now to where we're trying to get.
Yeah.
And so then I had to have the conversation, and I get where it comes from. It tells me that you have listened and paid attention to the service part of my submission. And God, I appreciate that, because haven't we all known at least one person in our life that we try to do things for, and they just took advantage of that shit, and that's not even a role thing. That's just a person thing. I married that one. Done with that. Won't go back. But, oh God, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, but the problem with the way we do service, and the way I've done service, where I've taken on a lot of stuff in order to make JB's life easier, right? Is that I have definite thoughts and opinions about how things should be done. And I have moments where I want to be involved in that decision making. It is important to me to be involved in that decision making. And then there are times I don't give a fuck. And I've tried to signal that, where JB will ask, what do you think about this? I'm like, it doesn't matter to me, whatever you want. And it's been on weird stuff, like, should we go to this gas station or that gas station? That's the level of, I have the information that I share with JB. Those are the decisions. It's that granular. I'm like, okay, we got 5 cents off of this gas station.
Is the best offer right now, yeah.
And we got 15 cents off at that one, and I've checked the price at this one. And so here... And, like, it's collaborative.
She knows the gas prices like I know the weather.
Y'all, the amount of apps I have on my fucking phone to save 3 cents off a gallon of fucking gas is just, it should be embarrassing. But, so there are times I'm involved in decision making at that small of a level. And there are times that it feels very important to me to be a part of that. And then there are times I'm like, I don't give a fuck. And so here's where the growth and maturity, and we've done this for a minute, come in. I said, I cannot and do not expect you to know at any given moment where my head is at. That's not fair to you. Because it's not. Because on a day where I'm feeling kind of vulnerable and I'm feeling like worn down and I'm overwhelmed, I might want more of the decisions made for me. The easy stuff, right? But also, my anxiety desperately has me try to seek control. And my fear of being misunderstood makes me over-communicate. I don't know if y'all have noticed in the past 10 years. And so that's a combination that does not look like submission from the outside. Or from the inside sometimes. So then the next conversation was, okay, well, what does that look like? And again, I still have not asked this man to commit to, are you going to tell me what to do? Are you going to let me shut my brain off? Can I, like, that, he's got to think about that. And that, for me, is the uneven point. Like, I have thoughts. I've been thinking for weeks. I was like, I could use this, and I could use that. And I've been watching our life, and I could pull examples of, you remember that time? That would have been great. You remember this? That would have been great. And poor JB's like, I've just been over here trying to fucking survive the summer. I need time to think about it. So I was sharing a lot.
Yeah.
And thankfully, he did not have to use his communication safe word. If you are new here or if you do not remember, when I start over communicating, whether it's too much information or it's just gone on too long because I keep repeating myself or it's whatever, we have a safe word for it. And JB says the word and I know he's done. And I don't worry about that. When I'm talking about something very important to me or very difficult, I do have that thought of, uh-oh, have I gone too far? The communication safe word was not used. So
no.
I was giving him plenty to think about, and I knew this prior, but when we started having the conversation, my brain immediately went, you are not going to get answers today, because he's not where I'm at. That uneven thing, right? I'm at this point, he's a few steps behind, and he might want to shift the path a little bit once he has time to think. But we did talk about some ways to navigate how to tell where Kayla's head is at. One of those is a literal check-in. I was like, I said, I don't want to tell you what to do because you're the dom here and I'm trying to get away from telling anybody what to do. I was like, but you can literally just ask, is this a moment that I can just make this decision, or do you want to be a part of this? And I was like, if you do that, I'll let you know real quick how I feel about it, because I'll know in the moment. I'll know if I'm overwhelmed by the idea of making a decision. That's the moment I don't want to make a decision. Or if I have very strong thoughts, because for whatever reason I have thought about the order in which we should do the errands this Saturday for the most and greatest efficiency and to use the least amount of gas, and can we get a little treat to eat, and will I get my diet, and I've already mapped it out in my head, so ask me because I have thoughts, right? Do I understand how insane that might sound to some of you and how familiar it might sound to others? Yes. But then, and this is a thing we've been working through that has nothing to do with power exchange, but everything to do with communication. If, as I suspect I am neurodivergent, likely ADHD, and autistic. Very likely, but I don't know for sure. I've known how I communicate, but I've learned some things about it, and I'm getting very clear. And something about sort of accepting that is probably who I am. It's just some of those traits that I've had a very firm lock on for 40 plus years, they're just blossoming out. Poor JB, I don't think he knows what to do with it sometimes, but it does mean I understand myself a little bit better than I once did. And once you spend literal weeks just in your head, just swimming in there with thoughts and not actually speaking them, sometimes you formulate them to where you can speak them. And I was like, look, because one of JB's annoyances, but not an annoyance like, God, I fucking hate that, but more like, oh, there she goes again, is that I will sometimes ask a lot of questions and or many times over something simple, like a conversation about ground beef and noodles. Have you thought about this? But don't forget about this, but you need to think about this. And he... Look, I've been reading people from the fucking cradle. I know when somebody is annoyed with me, okay? And I had to explain to him in that moment, since we're talking about you can't know if I want you to lead or if I don't want you, or if I want to be part of this more without the check-in. I was like, but here's the thing I need you to understand, because it has been a point of contention for us a lot over the past few months. When I ask a lot of questions or when I think of a lot of details, that is my anxiety. That is me wanting to make sure that you have all of the information you need or could ever conceive of, even if you don't need it, to make a decision. And part of that does come from the several years where make a wrong step and your bank account is not at zero, but it's negative something, right? Every decision for a long time felt very fraught. If you make the wrong choice, you have fucked things up. And I didn't need those few years to think like this, but it just heightened it. Right? It just turned it up to 11. And so then we sat and we had a conversation about how, yes, my communication styles are a little different than they once were. And also, this is what this means. Like, I can't stop you from having that momentary annoyance, because I get it. It's annoying. But it's not because I'm oblivious. Like, I'm hyper aware, to the extent that I'm hyper aware of how you're reacting, and I'm hyper aware of all the things that I can conceive of, which isn't everything. It's just what I can conceive of. That's a lot of pressure, because I know that I don't know things, and then I worry that the thing I don't know is the thing we need to know to make the best, most efficient possible decision about fucking something like ground beef and noodles. Like, we are not.
I think we've scarred some folks from putting ground beef and noodles on their grocery list.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's fraught. I don't know what it'll do to the state of your relationship. Now, the thing I want to ask you, because we didn't really talk about it, you did the thing I love about you, which is when I know that you truly are considering what I'm saying, and or you're understanding it a new light. You get this look on your face and you go, ah. And that's what you do. And your head bobs and you go, ah. And I'm like, he got it. That was a light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Fucking love that shit. When we were talking about checking in, and when we were talking about, hey, please understand my communication, I'll work on it on my end to be less of this, but also this is what this means. What are you thinking? What's going through your mind? Where are you at with all that? What have you gone through for us to get to this point?
Oh, the journey. Oh, how did I get all that?
I know.
Yeah. It's been a bit of a tough walk for me with that.
I know. As the one who watches you get really annoyed, I know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's again, it's one of those things. I know that about you, and kind of like with the meat. I think things were I was such on a straw that broke the camel's back moment. Okay. And at the same time, I realize, because of who you are and what you do, and it's important to take care of you.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
But I can't air quote this, allow you to take care of me to your detriment. Can I do it in the other direction? Of course I can. That's what I do. That's who I am. It's what I live for. But and that's another thing I've been contending with, of what I deserve. Right? Now you know that I'm really bad at taking care of myself. I mean, look, nobody, air quote, needs a dom or a sub. Like, it's a thing you want, and you want, hopefully maybe you need the person you love, but like, right, we're no, I need somebody.
Well, yeah, absolutely, because you do, because
I won't do it.
No, you won't. You are the type of person, you will do everything in your power for the youngest, for the oldest. You will bend over backwards for everybody except yourself.
I really need therapy, because there's more. It's not just being a mom. It's not just being submissive. There's some deep-seated shit there.
Yeah. And yeah, I see where I could have jumped in more.
I mean, you can always see that in retrospect.
Yeah. So, that's a lot of what I've been noodling on in all this.
I mean, I look forward to when the noodles are cooked and you're ready to serve, and tell me what you're noodling. Did I do that weird analogy justice? Okay, good.
And I think probably by this weekend we can have some more of a talk. And okay.
Yeah, it's funny when I think about that side of myself as a submissive. There is something, I really need a therapist, y'all. Look, for anybody who's like, stop talking about it, go get a fucking therapist. Well, when I can afford the fucking copay, or to pay the ones who don't take insurance, I will, okay? There's nothing like thinking am I losing my fucking mind? Did I forget how to function as a human? That might make you go, I could really use a therapist. And if I could have one, I would. But shit, I did that to myself. I just derailed the train. The track went that way. I need to bring it back this way. I know. Oh, I'm back. There is a part of me, probably a not small part of me, that, and I think this is my baby girl side, it's not just the being taken care of, and that is very subjective. Like, that'll mean different things to different people, and it'll mean different things to me at different times and different points. But there's something about the feeling special, right? The feeling seen, because this is very much from early days, and I don't mean this in a monogamous way, I mean this in the chemistry is like explosive. The only have eyes for me, only have eyes for each other. We're the center of each other's in those moments,
Sphere,
right? And reality being what it is, that's not how you don't get to live your life that way long term. There's jobs, there's children, there's pets, there's stuff that means you have to like look outward and like go be a responsible fucking adult more often than not. And a little bit of what, the thing when I think, okay, what am I missing? It's not just turning my brain off. It's not just being a silly, goofy baby girl. It's not just that feeling of being taken care of. It is feeling special in some way. And you have always had this ability, and I don't think it's like a purposeful thing. I think it's just who you are and how you interact with people you care about, and just, how you interact with me specifically. You have this ability to make me feel like I'm the only person in the room and I'm all you can think about. Now, I'm a grown-ass adult lady. I know that's not necessarily true. I know what it is to be able to focus your attention in the moment and still have several tabs open at the back of your brain. I know that, but it's a feeling, it's a vibe more than me being worried that literally the only thing on your mind is me, because that just sounds creepy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But yeah, so like there's all these, I think part of it is I'm seeking feelings, I'm seeking moments, and I won't know until we're kind of trying it out again how often I need that, want that, how often you want to do that, what will be enough to make me to refill the well, so to speak. Is it just a little bit? Maybe. I mean, maybe. Sitting here talking about it. So the concept of masking is a very big thing when we're talking about neurodivergency. And to a certain extent, I think this probably is a part of that. But people can mask for reasons that are not about being neurodivergent. Sometimes you have to present a form of yourself to the world for safety, for this, for that, for whatever. And I think part of what I've personally done over the past several years when everything went wonky is the mask I have worn is I will stay calm and I've got this together because JB needs that. Because if I'm falling apart, well, we're fucked, right? Because not because you can't do anything, you are more than capable, but I was watching you almost come so close to crumbling under the weight of it because sadly we were experiencing a thing that I had lived all of my childhood in and the entirety of my 20s in that kind of survival mode. And you had very little to no experience with it, and it fucked with your sense of self on top of everything else, right?
True.
And so I sort of just put on the I've got this kind of face and the persona, and part of it made me feel good. It was control. I was taking care of you. I was being of service to you. I was, trying to do what I could so you could navigate this whole thing in a way where you were going to be stressed no matter what, but you didn't have to take on extra burdens. And I don't think I know how. I think I'm just now getting the part where I'm ready to take that mask off. I'm ready to be softer. I'm ready to be feels weird to say more vulnerable because we're pretty fucking vulnerable with one another in private and clearly in public. But there is a vulnerability in being taken care of. There is a vulnerability in allowing somebody to make some decisions for you, even if they're small decisions, right? And I have always felt a huge vulnerability in my baby girl side because I'm not immune or unaware of how the perception of that from the outside, right? I also know that my children, one of whom is technically an adult, still a baby adult, but whatever, have never seen a side of me like that. And so it feels very strange that even in a non-kinky, non-like adult way, that they could come across seeing me in that mode, just that relaxed and that, you know, watching my Disney movies and, you know, whatever. Because we would keep a lot of that behind closed doors where they couldn't see it. But some things, you're just doing shit. And I'm feeling like a baby girl. That's a vulnerability that I don't think my children have ever seen me that soft. I'm not sure they would know what to do with it.
Who are you?
Right? And to be aware of all that, to understand that there's an entire part of your life that's never seen you like that. I mean, the last time my own family saw me like that, I was a literal child, right? It's not quite the same. And I didn't feel like I had the luxury of that. I didn't feel like you had the luxury of that softness. And now it's like I want to crack open the shield, take the mask off, and just like, and I don't even quite know how to do it anymore. And I have this part of me that's like, I just want JB to do it, and I'll just follow. And yet, because of, you know, blah, 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 the past, I keep saying it, I am terrified of asking for too much
and
from
you. The thing that I think about in all this, you know, when we began this journey, you know, kind of embraced the whole daddy baby girl thing in a sense by accident.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It kind of grew. There's a word, organically. And now looking at trying to get back at him, like, you know, how is this going to be? Is it going to, you know, is it going to be?
What does it even mean?
Yeah, is it going to be as easy as it was last time? Is it going to be, you know, what?
Right. What does it look like?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I've noticed over the past few years things that I gravitated towards in the early days of our relationship, in the early days of like figuring out what submission meant to me and all that. Like, I loved a good stuffed animal. Oh my God, give me a good teddy bear. Give me a good, if they were cute, if they were sparkly, if God help you, if they were soft. Oh my God. And
got them up on the shelf there.
I know I have them here in my office around, you know, because I was like, I don't want them in the bedroom. They'll just gather dust, and then that's the thing I got to move around. But I don't, I'm like, did I outgrow this, or am I just so disconnected from that part of myself? When I see stuffed animals, I see stuffies, I see squishmallows. Like, squishmallows should be up my fucking alley, and I'm ambivalent. Now, I don't think I'm fully ambivalent because I am desperate for the youngest, who does love a good squishmallow. Let's be real. I'm checking them because their birthday's coming up, and I'm like, you love these two. You literally are using them as pillows. They're in your bed every night. Would you like some more? Because in my head, I'm like, please give me a fucking excuse to buy these things. And that's kind of where I've gotten on that side of myself. The things that I did grab. When you ask, we're going to do an episode next week about our experience with the Obedience app. But, spoiler, one of my, I could turn my points in for a prize kind of thing on the Obedience app is like to watch a Disney movie or an animated movie or whatever. And more recently, like within the past 6 to 9 months, you've been asking more often, do you want to watch a Disney movie? Do you want to watch this?
And that was something we even talked about in great depth a couple weeks back. You know, about watching a lot of these older, going back to a lot of these older shows, a lot of, you know, movies and stuff that, you know, kind of fall into all that.
And yet, in the moment when it's time to think about it, I come across as apathetic. I know that. I'm like, whatever. It's fine, whatever. But there's a part of me in my head that's like, is this okay? Is this the right decision? Will I still enjoy this? Like, I have these, and that's another thing. We have been talking about some of these things, and then because I'm recognizing that in a moment like this, the thing I'm like, I want that. When I get to the moment of having it, I'm like, whatever. And that's new for me to be like, whatever. And I can't help but wonder if has it been so long that I've gone back to, I've almost regressed in my acceptance of my own submission, because accepting that I was a service sub, fucking easy. Accepting I was a masochist, fucking easy. Accepting I was a baby girl, whoo, that took a hot minute. And I accept it now. I do accept it. I mean, I use the label. I want to have those feelings, but I don't know if it's that the things that the actual activities that used to like let me have that moment just are no longer right, or if there's something mental, emotional, a lack of willingness to be vulnerable, I don't know, that makes me hesitate. Because I still, to this day, like, if you told me that we could go watch some Tangled, I fucking love that movie. I love that movie so much, and I don't know why. Like, the idea of it, super excited. The opportunity to do it, I don't know. Is it I think this is a little bit of the conditioning from the past several years. Is it, air quote, the right choice? 99% of the time, there's no fucking right or wrong choice. There's just a choice, and then you, like, go with it and, like, deal with it. But I've been very stuck in the, air quote, right choice. And I think there's a little bit of, there's a part of me that kind of wishes you would just take that choice away and just decide. Because I think if first of all, if I really didn't want to, I'm not shy. I'm not afraid of speaking up.
Huh.
If I had the moment and it still felt wrong, I would say that. I'd be like, there's something about this that feels wrong. So maybe I've outgrown this. Maybe there are other things I need to seek out. Blah, right? But I know this will sound off topic, but I think this is my baby girl side. There are things that I am drawn to, like in social media, like styles that people wear and colors that people wear and clothing and the way, and I'll be drawn to it and think, that is so cool. That is so, and what I'll say is, I wish I could do that. And part of that's a financial thing. Like, it costs money to not have gray and white hair that you don't want to have. And being plus size, it is not easy to find the cute clothes. Certainly not at a thrift store. Certainly not when you live where a lot of the like elderly live, and they don't dress that way necessarily. So, like, I recognize that part of it I could go thrifting. Part of it's a limitation. That's just a financial limitation. But then there's a part of me that is drawn to it, but then immediately my brain goes, that's not for me. Now, I don't know what for me is, because I'm not happy, like, with my current style, with my current look, I'm not. But when I start gravitating towards something that I'm like, oh, I kind of like that, my brain immediately goes, yeah, that's not for me. And I'm wondering, there is a connection here, I swear to God. First of all, I think if I was more in tune with my baby girl self, I would dress differently. I think I would, I'm of an age, and I'm not having to be around, like, elementary school moms anymore. I'm of an age where there's a part of me that really does not care, except that part of me also, there's a part of me that hates to be perceived, and God damn it, when you wear something that is not the air quote mom uniform, you get fucking perceived. But is that's not for me feeling the same thing that's stopping me from what I classified for myself years ago as my baby girl stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yep.
But yeah.
No, I get it, because even when we got married, you were very much in your.
Oh my God. I love looking at those pictures. We were grinning. Those are such big ass fucking smiles. It was such a good day.
But I mean, the dress you wore and everything, that was all your
Oh God,
Your
I
baby
will
girl
never wear that thing. Would barely fit on my left tit now. But that is one thing I don't want to get rid of. It is not going to be an heirloom. I think it was an Amazon dress. I fucking love that thing. I fucking love that thing. But yeah, I had my hair curled, and then I was reminded that my hair only holds a curl for about 3.2 seconds.
Yeah.
Have my makeup done, and then I was reminded that, oh God, the moment you get hot, it melts off my face. I got that kind of skin. Didn't fucking care. I was wearing my chucks, my purple chucks, and my purple dress, and I had a silver gray crinoline thing underneath, and I was feeling myself.
You were.
Oh my God.
You were.
Oh my God.
You were.
So. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of like what, as you could tell, there's not solutions. There's not here's what we're doing, and this is, it's just
it's a process.
It's a process, and let me go back to the title. It's uneven. I'm at a space that JB's not quite at yet. Part of that is, I think I shared new information today, like some of that was stream of consciousness. I had not said all of that before. So the more I share, the more JB has to think about. And then when he's thought, he will share with me, and then I will think, and we'll go from there. But it is uneven. I'm at a point where I'm articulating clearly, this is what I miss, and this is what I think I want, and this is what I'm afraid of wanting, and all of that. And he's not there yet. And then nonlinear, if you had said 6 months ago that this was going to be a point where you were going to be like, y'all, and this is not an exaggeration, I was laying in bed crying. Not like racked with sobs, but like just feeling very vulnerable, worried, finally saying the thing. I didn't email it, I just used my words. That's uncomfortable. And it's, and like JB said, it's a process. I don't have any answers, but I cannot believe that this is somehow unique to us. This is relationships 101, and just add some power exchange on top. And the power exchange, I think, can both help and complicate. Help because if you're both confident in each other and you have the communication skills, you can just say the fucking thing. But complicated because this isn't about negotiating who's going to wash dishes. This is about negotiating, hey, to my dom, could you take on this extra responsibility and just decide things for me and be my brain every once. That's a big fucking responsibility, right? Or to a sub, hey, can you be your most fucking vulnerable for me out of nowhere with very little warning? It might just happen because I'm going to want you to turn your brain off, or I'm going to
Alakazam.
Right? That can make it so much better when it works, when it's with the right person, when you are kind of at the same point to some extent. But it's a complication. That's an added layer of trying to navigate, relationships like this. So I could keep talking, but I don't think I have anything new to say. Is there anything that you're thinking about that you...
No.
on your mind? Any hints you want to drop so that all of them will probably get it before I do, because sometimes I am fucking clueless. God damn it. So no decisions. I mean, I know you won't just spring anything on me. There will be a conversation. Unless it's something we've already talked about. Okay, this will come up next week, because if I don't fucking say it then, I'll be mad, but I'm going to say it now. Trying out the obedience app. It was one of those things we had talked about it weeks and weeks before, and then never followed up. And then JB went, yeah, we'll do this. And he just set it up, and I got a link texted to me. And I was like, I'm so glad we had this conversation already.
We did have the conversation. We talked about doing it several times, actually.
We just never
Not
did.
just one. Yeah, that's a great idea. We should do it. Yeah, it's a great idea. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
And I was amused by it, because typically we talk about a thing and then 5 minutes later we do it. And I did have that kink content creator moment of, well, I'm glad our communication skills are good, because I would not advise anybody else to do that. But then I was like, And then the submissive part of me went, oh, he just fucking decided and he just did it. And it was a little sexy. But we will talk more about that next week. So, yeah, I guess that's plenty.
Okay.
We could do a bonus section.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, are we good?
I don't fucking know.
Keep it kinky, y'all.
And we'll see you next week. Daddy.
Yes, baby girl.
Can we talk to the crickets about anything other than my deepest, darkest thoughts and vulnerabilities and all my concerns and crying into my pillow? Anything other than that? Can we talk about anything other than that?
Yes.
Can I tell you that I don't think there's any level of drugs that will keep Ella from being spicy at the vet?
Yeah, no. I when I saw the text,
I did take Ella back to the vet today.
And all I thought was, I've been, I remember as young, I've been stoned, I've been drunk, and there's that one thing, man, it just snapped you right out of it. And Ella's
is being at the fucking vet.
Yep.
So, a couple weeks ago, I'm sure we talked about it the last episode prior to this, because we had the week off. Took her to the vet, needed to do blood work, and checking her out for, like, the pee thing and whatever. And they could not get the blood. It would have stressed her out. They're like, okay, come back. Well, we tried to come back in a week. Couldn't do that because that was the day the kid was moving. So we rescheduled it. Took her today. And they had called and said, okay, look. Give her the sedative. Give her the gabapentin at night. And then give her another dose at the right time in the morning. And I had thought it was strange when they told us to only give it to her in the morning previously. Yeah. But it was a different type.
Different doctor and a different type of
right.
medication.
So it's like, okay, maybe this is stronger. Maybe there's more. I don't fucking know. So we do. And she is high as a goddamn kite. This morning, she's like, she can't walk straight. She's like listing to the side. Pick her up and she's just like almost boneless. She's just so relaxed. I get her into the carrier, no problem. Get her into the car, no problem. And that was how it was different from last time, because last time the moment she was in the car, she started meowing and I had to keep my fingers kind of like in the open part so she could rub up against it. No, she wasn't alone. Nope, quiet. We get to the vet. The moment we walk through the door, she starts meowing, and she has I love her so much, a slightly grating meow. Like the first couple times you're like, okay, there's Ella. And by the fifth, you're like, oh my God, I need you to shut up. So I'm doing the, it's okay, blah, blah, blah. And they're all checking, did you give her the GABA? I gave her the GABA. I promise. She's stoned.
Last night and this morning.
Right. Now, last time at the vet, when we were in the exam room and I took her out of the carrier, she let me cuddle her and she just leaned into me and she was like, I don't like all this, but you're here. It's fine. This time, clearly she was like, bitch, I don't fucking trust you. You brought me the fuck back. I am holding her. She is no longer acting high. She is trying to climb over my shoulder. She's trying to get back in the fucking carrier. She don't want to run away. She wants to not be right here. And I'm like, you are more active than you were last time.
Right.
I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. They did manage to do all the blood draws they needed to do. I think it's because there wasn't a lot of poking and prodding. They went from, let me just do our basic stuff we have to do, get her back there. I'm sitting there, I'm reading my book, and I just hear, and I'm like, oh, shit, okay.
Shit's hit the fan.
Okay. But, yeah, so she has not talked to me for the rest of the fucking day. I have not seen Ella no damn more. Normally she is underfoot. Normally she's like, hey, don't forget I exist. You might forget to feed me, even though you've never done that in 5 fucking years.
I hadn't seen much of Onyx today either. I think Onyx was like, I saw what happened to her.
I know.
Gonna make myself scarce.
I know. And see, the day we go, okay, we, thankfully Onyx, knock on wood, has been healthy. She's eating fine. She's doing, so like, yeah, she still needs her wellness checks. And cats don't typically get those as often as they should. And sometimes things get missed, but she can go a little bit longer if she needs to, because when we do her, they'll have to do twilight sedation. They will have to knock her the fuck out. And we get one chance to get her in the carrier. And if we don't get it right and grab her and get her in, we will not see her for 8 to 12 hours. She will go into deep hiding. So Yeah. I'm like, Ella is the easy one, but Ella will eat your face. Like, she's just...
The funniest thing I thought about all that when you got her in the carrier and, took her to the front door and, Lola was very concerned about what was
She
happening.
tried to follow me out the front door while I was taking Ella to the car. I was like, and I texted JB, I'm like, Lola seems very worried. I was like, go check on your girl. But,
Yep.
yeah, so that was our adventure today. Yeah, the oldest is home. He's had he took 2 classes, some general ed classes that he'll need for graduation, which he's just going to be a junior this coming fall,
Yeah.
but like he's trying to get all that general ed stuff out of the way. And so even though he lives here, he takes our one car back and forth to and from the campus.
Hour and a half one way.
No.
No,
It's
hour?
It's like an hour. Depending on time of day, depending on traffic.
And traffic, yeah.
And every time he leaves, when he started driving, when he was in high school, every time he left, I'd go, I love you, be safe, right? So now I'm back into doing that, and he rolls with it. But now I've added, drive like you have to pay for the ticket, because you do. And he goes, okay. Knock on wood. He's got the rest of this week and then next week, and then because it's a summer session, it's really short, and so he'll be home for about a week with no classes. So I'm sure he'll go places and want to use the car, but we will have more access to the car again. And next week there's a day where we need the car, and I did not want to and was just not going to reschedule and upend our routine for some appointments. And I said, your mommy will be driving you to school next Monday. I was like, and your mommy will be picking you up. I was like, actually, what I'm going to try and do is bat my eyelashes and convince Mr. John to go with me to pick you up so I don't have to drive in rush hour traffic in a college town. That's when the kid went, I think I'll try and get a ride home. And then there is a part of me that's like, you could have been trying to get rides home. He couldn't get a ride there, though, so, I mean, I get it. So, yeah. But it's been strange having him home, but it's been nice.
Yeah.
But I think all of us, including him, this is not me dogging on him, all of us are very used to him having his own space, and I think he is the most ready to be back in his own space.
Yeah.
And I will miss him. I always miss him. Like, our whole routine of life is completely different right now. But
yeah, no, I understand that, because once you have that taste of having your own place, and it's tough.
And he really hates not having control of the thermostat.
I know.
Look, I also hate not having control of the thermostat, but as the one who pays the bills, I understand.
Right. Yep.
There will come a day I'm going to want it on the record that I survived perimenopause in a not cold house. Okay? Just.
Hey, the last 4 days, the AC has been struggling to keep up.
I know.
Man. But Julie R had asked early on, about doing stuff to help distress. And I have been doing some stuff. Together we do, we have gotten doing thrifting.
You like to go to the antique stores.
Between the thrifting and, going to some of the antique stores.
We're even considering making a day trip because the internet influenced us to an antique store in Jacksonville and a bakery in Jacksonville. Not anytime soon, but.
And there's supposed to be a big antique place up in Micanopy.
Yeah, that would make sense with Micanopy.
So.
Yeah, I go for the vibes. Is all I really go for.
So we've been we do that, and I've been playing Terraria.
Yes, a lot of Terraria.
Yeah.
Every time JB mentions that he's played Terraria or he was playing Terraria, the youngest goes, ooh, like it's so excited to hear it. That child does not play Terraria anymore, but they like hearing about it, I guess.
I've been doing that, and right now it's too stinking hot to ride the Can-Am or get out.
And, nobody's doing that shit.
So, that's going to be once the weather breaks kind of thing.
Yeah. I know we're not anywhere near the weather shift, the temperature shift. We still have to get through August, which August in Florida is fucking misery. But yeah, I'm looking forward to you getting back on the Can-Am. I'm looking forward to another shot of trying to be on the Can-Am and not crying and screaming. I'm looking forward to not. The only reason I'm sweating is a hot flash, not because I live in Florida. So, yeah, it's
yeah. And Mr. Spock, said about watch out around Micanopy. That's why we take the back roads.
Yeah.
That's why we take the back roads.
Yeah, my it's been ages, but every time I think about how I will, to the extent that I can, only take a back road, especially if I'm driving. I'm not getting on the interstate. Not I-75 here in fucking Florida. Kiss my ass with that. Not driving anyway. I think about the time I was trying to explain to my aunt that, yeah, it'll take us like 20 minutes longer to get somewhere, but we're taking the back road. And my mom is who I kind of got it from, that she got over a lot of her driving anxiety when she had to travel for work, because she learned there were certain times she did not have a choice. She had to be there at a certain point, quickest way, jump on this highway, but she learned the back ways through Louisiana, Mississippi, and I think part of South Alabama. And so I got that from her, of like, you can go anywhere if you're willing to get there. I'll go a little slower to avoid the insanity. And we were trying to explain it to my aunt one day, and there are a lot of things you could look at me like I'm crazy for. Like, I'm into BDSM. I understand if a vanilla person looks at me like I have grown up, some extra heads, okay? But she looked at me like she did not know what planet I was from when I was like, oh yeah, to get to Gainesville, we take 441. Mm-hmm. It used to be a big highway. It used to be the way people got to Gainesville. Now we got the interstate. Yeah. So we take 441 because ain't no fucking body on it. Right. And it's so funny. Every time I think even the term back road, her face pops into my brain of looking at me like, who are you? And I always want to go, your sister's the one that raised me, so blame her. But yeah.
Yeah, and I look as we make the drive, because I actually enjoy that drive, especially on 441. But I'm seeing more and more. This is a place where there's farms out there. There's houses with actual land out there. Still dirt lime rock roads even. But a lot of open land and stuff, but there are now more and more for sale signs popping up on a lot of that land. So
yeah, probably the only comforting thing is when you're taking 441 from where we live into Gainesville, I'm sure you kind of see it from the interstate too, but you're driving in the middle through Payne's Prairie, which is a wetland and like a state park, and then there's other parks that University of Florida has for research purposes and whatever. And so there's this, not as big as anyone would like, swath of land that will hopefully, knock on wood, never get fucking touched. But yeah, I can already see where some new bits of development have the opportunity to creep, because there's a lot of big parcels of land for sale. I told JB the other day, because we got things up in the air for our life, like in a couple years, within the next couple years, will we be moving out of state? We don't know. Will interest rates ever change, and will we one day downsize? We don't know. I told JB, I was like, you know what, here's what I want to fucking do. And this is strange coming from me, because I had very strong opinions otherwise. I was like, the day we move, whether it's out of state or we just whatever, I was like, I just want to sell this house, buy some 1/4 to 1 acre plot of land, buy a fucking mobile home, slap it in the middle, and say to hell with everybody else. Just put me in the middle of fucking nowhere with my own little plot of land. I was like, I I used to be very anti, I don't want to live in a mobile home because I grew up in one and it was a tin fucking can and I didn't like it. But these days I'm like, I just don't fucking care anymore. Just give me one that's only supposed to last like 20 years when I'm like 50. It'll be fine.
Well, I come find out there are some towns in Italy that are giving you incentive to come there and live because they want to.
They need people.
They need people, and you just have to commit to living there. And I can get
You
Italian
can get
citizenship
Italian citizenship, yeah.
in a heartbeat. I could, or even German. So
I don't know. I think I'm at that point in my life. I'm like, I just want to go be not in the woods. I didn't live that life.
Yeah.
But just somewhere and just have my own peace and maybe a road that runs past me, and that's it. That's fucking it. But yeah,
all right.
I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Y'all know me, I can keep going, but I stopped having anything of substance to say a while back. So I guess
There you go.
we will finish up for this
Yeah.
stream and recording. And we will talk to y'all next week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.